Merry Meet Witchlings, welcome back to the channel. It's the Twisted Witch, Midnight Moon Song here, and today I have a special treat for you. Initially, I said that I wasn't going to do a tour of this book, but I got such wonderful comments last time on the other Grimoire tour I did that I really want to showcase it because this one is a little bit more Art Witch forward, and I really wanted to show you guys that what I did in the last video was only like the tip of the iceberg, and give you guys some more ideas to what you guys can put in yours. Now understand that this is what I've dubbed the Compendium. The Compendium is essentially the sequel to my main Grimoire, the main Grimoire squared, main Grimoire 2, whatever you want to call it. And where that one deals a lot more with physical things like crystals and this and that, this does a lot more with shadow work and the non-physical. So there's a lot that's going to be censored out in this. There's so much of this that you're not going to see, but there are a couple of things you can. Now, I do want to make mention that I did make a video on what I called a magic board, and that was, I'll try to remember to link it at the end of this video, but there was a pentacle and there's a bunch of stuff around it, and essentially it's just a picture I did charged with magical intent, so it's almost kind of like a traveling altar, if you will, but it's inside my book. I cannot show you that anymore because I filled it with more sigils that are private. That's why I wanted to show you when I did, because I knew that I wanted to eventually incorporate some other more personal sigils into it, and I went ahead and did that. So, yeah. Now, without further ado, I will begin. Now, you've seen the title page before, but it did not look like this. I think it had just this, and the stickers here, and that was it. It didn't have any of this. It didn't have anything over here. But it does now, because I didn't like the way it looked, so I wanted to kind of go all out and kind of do a very sporadic kind of collage, scrapbook sort of thing. And everything on here has meaning to me. I'm not going to go into deep detail on it, because some of it's personal meaning. But, yeah. I have stickers and stuff that I got from Etsy. I have things I printed out, just things that I associate in certain magical ways. I have drawn some sigils and symbols on it. I did put this little sticker at the beginning that says "Welcome, little stranger," because I thought it'd be kind of cool because it's welcoming you into the book. This is my Grimoire Blessing. Feel free to use it if you want. Pause the video and write it down. I don't mind. But yeah, this is when I do Grimoire Blessings, I don't always do them as, first. I leave a blank page for them, but I always end up coming back to them. Because for me, when I do my Grimoire, I start writing it first, and then usually when I'm about halfway through or so, when I get a feeling of the spirit of the Grimoire itself, then I'll use that to help guide me to write the Grimoire Blessing. I know that's not a traditional way to do it, but that's how I do it. So, also this font here is supposed to be my fancy font, although I don't think it looks that fancy, but that's what my fancy font is supposed to be. This is my About Me page. I've seen other witches do similar things, so I was like, you know what? Why not? I tried to draw this picture of myself. I put two of the necklaces that I wear most often. Ironically, not in many of my videos, but this is an eye necklace, a dragon's eye necklace, and this is my black pentacle. Next, we have my witchy type and what I do within it. I decided to write hobbies and just a group of things I really enjoy. And then I really wanted to write down divinations. Now, as you can see, I practice a lot of different divinations. But my favorites are probably the one at the top, which is the Elder Futhark runes. And I also really like my pendulum. Now, this is a sticker, but I did draw all this other stuff coming off of it, because there's just this little flower here that comes off the sticker. To me, I charge this with the symbolism of myself and my shadow self, because I do believe it's important to work with balance and unite with your shadow self to create harmony within. I also drew this. This is a sticker I got. And this page, it looks kind of odd, like there's this little thing right here. That's because originally I had just my name, Midnight Moonsong, on here, and it's written there. That's my magical name, my shared magical name, the name I use when I'm doing craft work with anybody else. And I do, sometimes I'll do it with one of my friends or with my partner or whatnot, but originally I just had that across here, and it looked so bad. I didn't really like the way I did it, and so I got these, excuse me, they are these giant label stickers, actually, and they fit the page perfectly, so I just put them on here and change the page. Next we have my Zodiac. I know you've seen this in the last one, so I'm not going to dive too much into detail on it, but I do use cusp for my Zodiac, and the cusp is essentially where the signs blend together, where there's a movement from one sign to another. They overlap, and different things appear within those overlapped parts. Now, originally, I didn't really do a lot of cusp work. I was like, whatever. But there were some things within the Zodiac, within my Zodiac, that just didn't kind of add up to me. Things that I don't know, like, it felt off. And so when I looked into cusp magic then, and working with the cusp in your Zodiac, it started making sense, because the stuff that I was feeling, certain things that I was attributed with, and this and that, were because of the cusp, and they measure up in the cusp more than they do anything else. But yeah, I decided to write about each one, their symbols, constellations, yeah. Now we are going to skip a nice chunk here. This is my self-love affirmation, because, let's face it, we all need a little self-love every now and then. And this is my calling to a spirit. This is what I do and how I use it. There's a little more detail in it, but I didn't feel like I had to write down all that detail on this page. I do have a couple other things, stuff about offerings and stuff like that in my other book and whatnot. So I just put kind of a basics here. And as you know, a lot of this stuff is stuff I either got online or ordered on Etsy. So yeah, I'm trying to get that glare off so you can see everything. But yeah, then I just drew the borders out. I put stuff on there. Like I said, it's a little bit more artsy and definitely more scrapbooky, because I do love to scrapbook. Nice sizable chunk. This is my bit on spirit tag locks, or also known as spirit vessels to some people. I use the symbol of Mercury, because Mercury is my ruling planet. And fun fact, you find your ruling planet by looking at your rising sign. The planet that goes along with your rising sign is your ruling planet. So I thought it was really cool, because it is a gender neutral energy, and as it says, it can be used for communication, perception, and the guide of the dead. It is a really great one to use for tag locks. And real quick, for those of you who don't know what tag locks are, essentially they are a mark, a sigil of some kind, something that puts a physical piece there that a spirit can then go into or hook themselves to, and tether themselves into this plane a lot better, so you can work with them better. But don't forget to release them. Yeah, I do intend on doing a whole video about this, so I'm not going to dwell on spirit tags that much. It's another bit. This is about the dark moon. Even though I have all about the moon magic in my other book, the dark moon for me is essentially pretty much the only moon I use, unless it's a specialty moon. But I generally just use the dark moon, the new moon, for all of my work. It's where I feel the most powerful. It gets the job done for me. yeah, and this is just a bit about how I see it and this and that and how I call it. Again, feel free to pause and take notes. I might do a video on this, but I'm still debating because it's just the new moon. A lot of people do new moon. Now, this is a little more censored. You see one word there, but that's okay. This is a bit about working with balance, what it means to me. What balance is in my craft and how I use it. This is essentially my views on marriage, what marriage is. Marriage isn't something that you have to do. It is something that two people come together to do. It's an agreement between people. It doesn't have to have a law involved or anything like that to be considered marriage. That's just my view on it. But yeah, I decided to record it in here. This is a bit on Stitchermancy. For those who don't know, Stitchermancy is the art of taking a book and opening it, flipping through the pages, and putting your finger on a passage or a word. And that's supposed to answer your question. Now, for those of you who are going to be like, no, that's bibliomancy. No, it isn't. Stitchermancy is the overall, the umbrella term. Bibliomancy is specifically towards holy books. So the Christian Bible, the Satanic Bible, the Quran, things like that. And then there's also another word for poems and song lyrics, but I don't remember what that is. This is a bit on mirror magic and how I use mirrors in my craft. I do intend on going over this in another video, so I will not dwell on it that much, but I decided to get these pictures of mirrors and put them in there. So, yeah, looks nice. This is a patience affirmation, because believe it or not, sometimes my patience level goes down really quickly. So I tend to use this one quite a lot. And there's a bit about necromancy, a brief bit. I have this in like almost every single grimoire, I swear. This food magic here is not like general, well, it's the general food magic. It's what food means in that general sense, and not like the normal, what people do when they split it up. Like, this food means this food means this. It's the generalization of the energy of making the food and of the meal and what you do with the food and the meaning behind that. There's a page for Astrion. You'll notice if you watch my last video, the marks are different for this one. That's because Astrion, when I first got the pendulum, excuse me. When I first got the pendulum, that was the way it was reading, and then like all of a sudden, he was like changing it up, and now this is the new way to read. So this is how we're reading it. So I rewrote it in here. And of course I drew that. That is a sticker. I did draw this by hand. That bugs me. It's a little thing. It's the little things sometimes. Nice chunk to move over. This is my moon milk recipe. I love moon milk. Moon milk is so delicious. I'm not going to get into a big thing on moon milk, but go look it up and do research if you don't know what moon milk is, because it's pretty fascinating. And this is my recipe for it. My recipe is just simple. It's for health and happiness. And I put here the actual physical benefits of the ingredients, not the spiritual ones. Then the little directions that I have, and there you go. Moon milk, and of course I drew all this because I could. This is my motivation affirmation, because again, some people just need an extra bit of motivation. It happens. I skipped too much. There we go. Beauty affirmation. It's not a glamour. It's to help people feel beautiful. It's to help you feel like you are beautiful. It's not a glamour. I really don't do glamour magic that much. It's not that I don't. I just don't do it that much. I'd much rather focus on myself and seeing myself and as the qualities I want, and not just making myself seem like I am. But that's my way of self-helping and self-care. So, you know, nothing against glamour magic or anything like that. I mean, by all means, that's perfectly fine. But that's just my view on it for my personal self. This is my creativity affirmation spell. Not really a spell. I really don't have like spells in this book. It's just like a call, I guess. Look at all these big chunks I'm skipping. You guys cannot see what's there. Some of them are really, really cool, and I wish I could show you, but the personal information says otherwise. Anyway, moving on. A song to call Rain. I only really call Rain. I don't do a whole lot of other things. I have called Rain before. Actually, Weather Magic was the first magic I started actually practicing, and ever as a witch. And rain is always one of the things that made me happy. Whenever it stormed, I felt like everything would just always fall into place. And so having like a nice rain is always like been in my arsenal. I remember the first time it worked and I like was ecstatic. I've come to actually figure out that there are certain spirit guides that I have that are how do I put this, elementally connected to water and electricity, so like a storm, which is why I connected with storms when I was young. Because whenever I was sad, not whenever I was sad, but a lot of times when I was sad, and there was a storm, the storm would make me happy, or just listening to the rain made me happy, and that was why. So it's always kind of in a special place. And this is not the original song I had, but I did have a poem. But yeah, feel free to use it if you want. I don't mind. But as those of you who do practice weather magic know that there's a lot more to weather magic than just simply doing a chant. There's a time and a place and that sort of thing. So if you are into weather magic, you'll know how to do this. But if you're not, you might want to do research. This is a courage affirmation. I don't need it that much, but every now and then. So kind of like to boost my confidence in certain things. So that's there. I forgot the artist that did these, but there's a whole bunch of pictures of this, but this was my favorite one, and I absolutely love it, and I thought it was perfect for this because the whole thing about courage is people will say stuff like, have a backbone, and so I thought it was funny because you could see her backbone, and her backbone elongated to her tail, and this thing, and so I felt it was just kind of perfect. This is my moon dust recipe. For those of you who don't know what moon dust is, it's kind of like, it's a cleansing powder. You can cleanse your space, you can cleanse objects. It really is all up to you, but my recipe is very simple. It's salt, eggshell, and lavender. This is something I drew, again, of myself and one of the spirits that I work with. It was just in my head one day, so I decided to doodle it in here. And I made a video on tear magic, and this bit here is essentially kind of an overview of what I kind of did in that video. But yeah, that unfortunately is all I can show you. There's a lot left, I know, but like I said, this book is very personal, so there's a lot in here that you weren't going to see. I will show you, though. That's a pocket full of stuff. This sticker, it was in the sticker pack I got. The same one I had at the beginning that said welcome. There's this one that said the end. And for those of you who were wondering what was sticking out, it was this. I actually found this on the ground, and it was really weird because I never really got super into magic, but I do have some magic cards, and I wanted to collect the vampires. And I don't remember what was going on that day, but like it wasn't a bad day. It was actually a pretty good day. And as I was going to the restroom, because I'm at work and we have to go outside to do it, there was this card laying like this, and I looked at it and I went to touch it, and something inside me was like, hey, that's a vampire card. And I was like, it's gonna be a vampire card, and I turned it over and was like, holy cow, it's a vampire card. So I don't know exactly if this, I don't think it's really a sign or anything like that. It could be, I don't know yet, but it's one that I've kept in here since then for some reason. I've never taken it out, but yeah. That is my book. That is the Compendium. Well, all that you can see of the Compendium. I was really like I said, I've gone really big art witch mode in this because I love scrapbooking. I love that sort of thing. So I really wanted to give you guys another example of some things you can put in your book that weren't in the other one. I have some other Grimoire tours I do have planned for the future as well, but I wanted to go ahead and get this one out of the way. The other one, my other main grimoire, I keep using quotes because I couldn't think of a name with it, and so I called it Main Grimoire, and that's still its name, even though technically this one is more main than that one is. This one doesn't have to do with any physical tools, just essentially you and yourself, but I work with it more. It does. It means more to me. I work with it more. There's a lot more in it that is very special to me. There's stuff about my ancestors and that have passed away, and other people I was really close to, and a lot of shadow work and stuff like that. So I can't show it to you. And I know all of you will understand. I don't have to try to justify it. But yeah, this is it. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, go ahead and leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you all next time. Blessed be.